Welcome to our first ever Quickie episode.
A Quickie episode.
A Quickie BJ in the morning.
Or the afternoon.
Or the evening.
Or the evening. Anytime
either
you
way,
want.
any time of day.
It's just a Quickie.
It's a Quickie. It's going to be quick.
To the point.
And it's gonna be quick.
Did we emphasize the quick?
Yeah. Quick.
Today's Quickie, and the first Quickie, we listened. We paid attention.
We did.
An hour and a half of us talking about Marvel movies is not 100% what everyone wants.
Not the way to go.
So how about 15 minutes? Maybe 20.
Maybe 20.
But probably shorter.
Definitely shorter than an hour.
Yeah.
So 45
Actually,
minutes,
let's just
minutes?
end it now.
Marvel. Done.
Marvel. Done. But one.
Yep.
We started a whole new phase.
We did.
What
phase 5.
Phase 5. I
Phase
knew
5.
that. I was just making sure that we had banter.
No, we're there. We're there. We're on the same page.
But we started phase 5 with Ant-Man.
Quantumania.
We haven't talked about this since we saw it. We saw it separately, which we mentioned in the podcast you haven't heard yet.
Yeah, we mentioned it in the future episode.
We haven't talked about it. We were going to talk about this movie in that episode, but we had a lot more fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoy this one. And if you like this format, let us know. Little Quickie. And the Quickies aren't just going to be about Marvel, right?
Right.
They can be about anything.
Yeah, just a Quickie.
Just a Quickie. So when you're feeling it and you're in the mood, but you don't got time.
And a Quickie is good enough.
Quicky's good enough.
Gets the job done.
Better than nothing. Ant-Man, though. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So let's start with you.
With me.
Your thoughts.
Okay.
Wait. Before we do that.
God, you're so confusing.
I'm
Can
sorry.
we just do this?
We have to give a full disclosure.
Spoilers.
Heavy spoilers.
So many spoilers.
So if you haven't seen it yet,
look away.
Don't turn off the podcast. Just look
Mute
away.
it.
Don't
mute the podcast. Let it play in the background.
Let it play.
No, we're not fishing for listens like that.
No.
But welcome to a spoiler-heavy Ant-Man Quantumania discussion.
Yep.
Okay, so now I can go?
Now you can go.
Now it's my...
It's your turn. You have the talking
This is an aggressive Quickie. Do I have the talking Coca-Cola move?
Yes.
Again, it's on a podcast that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, listen to that.
Sweet. So I saw Quantumania Friday, Saturday. What's today? Sunday? So I saw it last night.
Yep.
I was pretty hyped for this movie. There was a lot of expectations in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
There was some issues that I personally had with it. But overall, I think Kang might be one of the best villains we've had in Marvel history.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Majors plays Kang, right? That's his name?
Yep, Jonathan Majors.
I mean, again, I knew it just for the banter. I think he's fantastic. I loved him in Loki when he was He Who Remains. And I knew just based on that performance that he was perfect. You know what I mean? Like he's adding so much like passion to this role.
Yeah.
And he does not cease, like
right.
His emotions throughout solid. Everyone else's though, I wasn't there for it. I think personally, that Scott Lang was not. He didn't really have an arc. His whole journey was to get more time with his daughter, and that's it. Like he just wanted to be with Cassie. It's not a bad storyline, but I don't really feel like we got enough from him.
Well, see, I mean, I agree with you on that. The movie was okay. It wasn't the best.
No.
It was definitely fun.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
I have a really hot take for this movie, and I can't wait to talk about it with you. Okay. So just... it's right there.
But
right there, I'm ready.
I don't think that Scott Lang's arc was a waste, because at the beginning of the movie he wrote his book.
Yeah.
Right.
Funny intro.
Yeah. He's talking about he's always talking about how he's an Avenger and all this, and right off the bat, like, Cassie like straight up humbles his ass.
Like, what have you done since?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt bad for him, but at the same time, like,
you're like, Cassie, why are you such a punk?
Yeah. But
because you were abandoned by your father for 5 years?
But that is not like, I had no issues with Scott Lang. My issue in this movie might be controversial to some, but was Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah.
I felt like she was just such a waste of a character.
Yeah.
And the way, who was it, Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
I think the way she played her, and like, because she had more screen time, it was just stale.
Yeah, so my thing with her was this whole thing could have been avoided if she would have just talked about it.
Yeah.
Right? And I get why, someone might hold back on some of this stuff. But this is an event that could destroy the world.
But like, even while they're in the quantum
she's like,
realm,
no.
She's like, no, I'm trying to protect you. It's like,
no, we're in the shit.
We were just told that whoever the fuck you're talking about is coming for us, and you still don't want to tell us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, finally, when she ends up telling the story about Kang and how she, she helped him become...
And slept with Bill Murray.
And that was so stupid.
That whole scene, I want to tell you my biggest problem with that. You get Bill Murray, who... It's Bill freaking Murray.
Yeah.
And he doesn't show up again?
Yeah.
And, okay, so the part...
one scene.
When he's just like, you talk to ants, right? And he's like, what are ants? We don't know what ants are. We don't have those here. And then there are ants there later on in the movie. Why couldn't you just have Bill Murray show up again and be like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, just give him a throwaway line. But, no, I get it. Like, Janet was just withholding all the information while they were learning about all this information from other characters,
Right.
I feel like there was a lot of times where we were just told what was going on. There was a lot of flashbacks, which isn't a bad thing. But
I think the flashbacks should have been more surrounded around the people of the quantum realm.
Yeah.
And what happened to them, rather than...
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
All we know is that they're terrified of Kang.
Which
and
they should be. He's terrifying.
Should be, but like, why?
Yeah.
Why are they terrified of him?
No, exactly.
Now, just imagine not knowing who Kang the Conqueror is.
Yeah, so like anyone else going into Marvel movies blind without having a history of any of it.
Right.
Or if they didn't see Loki or whatever, right?
Yeah. But Jonathan Majors did such a great job, like, changing the character to be a different person.
Yeah, from He Who Remains.
Yeah.
And even like throughout the movie, we again, spoilers, right? We see like the Council of Kang.
Yeah.
At the end.
In the post-credit scene.
And every single Kang that you can see on screen is a different Kang.
Yeah.
Played by Jonathan Majors. Like, I was that scene alone, I was like, this is terrifying. Like the implications of this and how accurate it was to the comics was amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're skipping a lot of stuff. My hot take for this. Are you ready for this? This movie was Thor Ragnarok with Ant-Man. It is exactly the same story as Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
You have a being from another place, right? Coming to save what is his. So in Ragnarok, it's why can't I think of where it's from?
Gore?
No, where's Thor from?
Asgard?
Yeah. Sorry, it's like midnight and I'm so tired. But so he's trying to protect Asgard, right? And that, right? And his fucking hammer, right? He lost his stuff. He's trying to get it back. In Ant-Man Quantumania, they get sucked into another place, right? And he's trying to protect what's his. And Scott Lang trying to protect Cassie, right? And then you get the crazy big ass sidekick dude with the laser face. What was his name? It was like Solar or something.
I have no idea. I didn't catch that.
But you get that dude, and then a weird smaller sidekick that has a weird power that we don't see yet. Meek, fucking Korg, right? But the little blob dude, where they have to drink him with the holes, who's also voiced by the guy Kurt in the first two Ant-Man movies. The Russian dude.
Yeah,
he's voiced by that guy. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
But anyways, it is the same movie. Then there's a bunch of people coming together to try to take back what's theirs from an evil overlord, Hela and Kang, and then there's a huge battle that takes place on bridges. It is the same movie, Juan.
Wow.
So tell me I'm wrong.
That is definitely a hot take. I can see it.
Yeah, right? As soon as I put it all together like that, right?
I like to chalk it up to lazy writing.
But like also like think about it, like instead of Doctor Strange they have Hank Pym, who comes and saves the day, right? Or gives them the ability to fix things, right? Also the ants, Deus Ex Machina, 100%. You know what a Deus Ex Machina is, right?
No.
It's like something happens and everything's solved, right? It's like a huge movie trope.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen Dodgeball, they do it the best. You seen that movie?
Of course.
At the end of the movie, he's like, "Oh, I bet all our money on us winning," and they bring out this chest because he won all the money, and on the chest it says Deus Ex Machina.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But yeah, Deus Ex Machina is just, hey, everything's fixed. It's like Machine of the Gods. I think that's what it means.
Yeah.
That's what the ants are.
Huh.
And Bill Murray wasn't there to comment on the ants. But overall,
but those ants were the ants from the lab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it's just a crazy random happenstance.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that because it's like, okay, these ants.
Oh, and they happen to live 1,000 years.
Somehow they went through the same portal they did, lived an entire, 1,000 years, fucking built a whole society, fucking evolved.
Is it cool?
Yeah.
Ants.
Fucking big ass ants.
Do you remember the marketing thing for Ant-Man where it was just Paul Rudd and what's his name? Oh my god, I'm so bad with names tonight, Juan.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Hank Pym.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Martin Sheen.
That's not right. I'm so much better than this. But they were just like ants.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's this movie. Overall, it is an Ant-Man movie. Paul Rudd is still Paul Rudd in it.
Yep.
I love Paul Rudd. I have a soft spot for Paul Rudd.
If I can see Cassie Lang and Kate Bishop in the same movie, I will.
You'll be fine.
My heart will melt.
Yeah. Another hot take. I kind of liked MODOK. Like
MODOK was.
It was exactly what MODOK should be.
Yeah.
Like, super evil, super pissed off. And then at the end of the day, he's like, I'm a dick, you know? And MODOK is such a dumb character in the best way. Like, in the comics, he's terrifying. He's scary. But you look at him and you're just like,
what
who
the
was
fuck
high?
is that?
like, the amount of shit talking they do to him in this movie, I loved it. And the whole scene at the end when he's dying and he's like, you were always like a brother to me. and he touches his like, I was done. I loved that whole thing. But overall, it was not what I wanted it to be.
Well, here's the thing. This movie and, like Phase 4 in a whole, it's not about the characters that we know.
Right. It's about the new ones they're introducing.
So I feel like this movie was about Cassie Lang.
I see that. And she had, like, this technically would be her origin story, right? Her becoming Stature.
Well, yeah. This is her origin story because, like, first time we see her in the suit, first time even Scott finds out she even has a suit
is right before they get sucked into the quantum realm.
Yeah. And, sure, she's had the suit for a little bit, but she wasn't properly trained on how to use it or ever actually had to use it in the way that, Ant-Man and the Wasp do.
Michael Douglas. Sorry. Is that his name? I'm pretty sure that's his name.
That's his name. I like refuse to like tell you, dude. I'm just like Martin Sheen. That's Michael Douglas for
so
sure.
Far. It's been like 20 minutes.
But yes, I think this movie was about developing Cassie Lang.
Yeah.
And, you know, moving forward with the young Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually.
I think a lot of my like distaste for this movie, because I didn't hate it. Like I just want to I will watch it again. Is you can see a decline from Ant-Man to Ant-Man and the Wasp to this, right? But the thing that held this movie together for me was Kang.
Yeah.
And it is opening up this next phase to lead up to like Kang Dynasty and everything, right? But I think it's a lot of the same shit as Phase 4 was, where it's just like you said, introducing these characters so when they show up again, you know where they're from.
But just imagine Phase 1 of Marvel. It was great, but it wasn't as exciting as
like
Phase 3.
Yeah.
Or the end of the Infinity Saga.
Yeah, and we had a lot of duds in like the first few phases, you know.
But we do have a lot of haters who are like, this movie did nothing for me. Me.
They're wrong, because it did a lot for like the MCU and like kind of the path to where it's going without spoon feeding us everything, right? There's hints to what's going on.
Well, these people are also the people who are, you know, they loved Doctor Strange. They loved Spider-Man No Way Home. And it's like, okay, those are the two movies where Marvel just said, fuck it. Give the fans everything they want.
Yeah.
Everything they fucking fantasize, theorize, tweeted,
But
anything.
if every single movie is that, it's not going to be fun anymore.
It's not going to be fun.
So they can't give us everything we want. We got to take what they have.
I agree.
Again, with Ant-Man, it was what it was.
But now we're back to the theorizing.
Yeah, what's going to happen next?
Okay, what are the Easter eggs that we could find that are going to point to the direction we're going in?
Yeah, and like the biggest one I think is that second post-credit scene, which was straight up just a clip from the next season of Loki, I think, right?
Yeah.
So if they're going to be searching for Kang variants,
right,
in the next season of Loki,
right,
that's going to be some crazy shit.
Now, do you think the Kang that was in the first post-credit scene, the three of them, so they got like Ramen Tut, Ramen or something like that?
Yeah.
And then
Ramen Tut.
And then the one in the all silver suit.
It could have been Iron Lad.
You think that was a version of Iron Lad?
There's a possibility, like a grown-up one who didn't follow the good path and ended up. Every Kang is evil. Like, you got to know that. Like, there's not a good Kang.
Yeah.
They're all evil because they all have the same ideology of where they need to be and how they need to get there.
And the only way to get there is the path that they take.
Yep. There's a lot to go over.
There is.
Maybe this is just a full fucking episode. But what are your thoughts on Ant-Man Quantumania?
Quantumania?
I don't know. I've said it wrong like 6 times, so just go with it at this point, okay? Quantumania.
My thoughts on Ant-Man Quantumania, definitely leading up to Kang Dynasty, and you know how terrifying it's going to be in that movie.
Yeah.
And you have to think, that's only a year and a half away.
That's scary.
It's like the end of 2024, right?
Is it? I'd have to double check.
I could be wrong. But I think when they announced it was 2024. But, so we're leading to that. And then that is supposed to lead into Secret Wars. So it's kind of hard to think, like, what comes next? You know? Obviously, we got Loki. That's going to have to do a lot with Kang.
Especially with how it ended.
Yeah. But what else is going to help us move in that direction?
Mm-hmm.
What else do we got?
Because the next one is Guardians Volume 3.
Yeah.
Which is going to be big, I think. And then we have Captain America, New World Order, Thunderbolts, Blade, all these things. Secret Invasion coming out sometime this year.
Mm-hmm.
Loki sometime this year. Ironheart sometime this year.
I think with all those shows and movies,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to put Kang on the back burner and make us forget. And then they're just going to fucking come out with a bang.
Yeah, and like the craziest part about Kang is he can be anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's infinite numbers of Kang.
Right.
And just because this version of Kang in Ant-Man is Kang the Conqueror doesn't mean there's not another one.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, like, the one in the comics that everyone fears is Kang the Conqueror.
Right.
But he's not. He might not be the worst one.
But then also think, like, we got Kang, but then what's going to happen when they introduce Doctor Doom?
Yeah, because they're like direct competitors most of the time.
Yep. And they both play a huge role in Secret Wars.
Yeah, and that since we know that's coming,
Mm-hmm.
like, because it doesn't. We don't know what Secret Wars they're going with. Like, is it Doom's Secret Wars or is it?
I heard it was going to be the Beyonder.
Okay.
But then Doom still plays a big role in that.
Yeah, because he like
using,
creates his own fucking civilization or tribe.
Yeah, and he uses his magic to take the Beyonder's powers.
Yeah.
So
God, there's so much possibilities.
Yeah. But overall, I liked the movie. It was entertaining. Like I said.
So
like
on a scale of Love and Thunder to what was your favorite MCU pick?
I don't think we did a overall favorite.
I don't think we did either.
But
we had Marvel fatigue at that point.
I want to say this movie is like mid tier.
There's definitely better Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Is this one essential viewing?
I'm sorry?
Is it essential viewing for like the overarch, like the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's important. For one, they're setting up Kang hardcore in this movie.
Yeah.
Two, setting up Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no three.
I also heard a really fun fact about
Janet
this
Van
one.
Dyne sucks ass.
There's a really fun fact about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is Marvel's 31st movie. Number 31.
Wow.
How many flavors does Baskin Robbins have?
Oh my god.
How many flavors? Also, that scene where they're in the core.
Oh, yeah, the one in the Baskin Robbins fucking outfit.
That was pure. That sequence alone.
Just
Paul Rudd being with Paul Rudd and another Paul Rudd and another and like an infinite amount of Paul Rudds, and they all were like still Scott Lang.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell them apart. You know what I mean? Like they all had different quirks and different attitudes.
Yeah.
That sequence alone, and then just the beatdown that Kang gave him at the end, the best parts of the movie to me.
I agreed.
Like the fight between Green Goblin and Spider-Man in No Way Home and this are on the same level for me. With like,
wow, that's pretty heavy.
Because that Green Goblin fight will never be topped, but this one's up there. Like Kang went hard. Like he's like, we go hard in the quantum realm. Let me show you.
When Kang was like, "You're out of your league,"
yeah,
man. Oh, dude, that shit was terrifying.
Yeah,
I was like, damn.
And like I said, this might not be the worst version of Kang.
Right.
And that is why this movie is okay.
Yeah.
Because there's more Kangs out there and there's worse Kangs out there. So when you watch it, just keep that in mind. If you haven't watched it, why are you listening? Yeah. if you made it this far. But
yeah. that's our Quickie episode. I mean, we could like dive deep.
Nah.